Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Customer Support Mastery with Speak and Span. My name is Anne. I'm the Customer Support Manager at Speak and Span Home and Office Cleaning. And today we're talking about something that every customer support service professional experiences. So, difficult customers, complaints, and conversations where emotions can run very high. My guest today is Steve Barton, a high performance executive coach, author, and creator of The Game of 10. Before becoming a coach, Steve spent many years in his family's floral business, working directly with customers during some of very important and emotional moments in their lives. Yes, Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. And rather than having me tell your story, I'd love to hear it from you. So can you please let us know a little about yourself and what happened and what led you from the floral business to the work you're doing today?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the kind introduction, and I'm looking forward to being on the podcast. So thank you so much. My story, I grew up in the family flower business. When I was 8 years old, my father was working at the local paper mill, quit, and went into, took over, didn't take over. My grandfather had a greenhouse, a small one. So he added a flower shop to it. And so I grew up in it. So if there's any, so after school, it was where I hung out. It was where I got babysat, you know? So I grew up in the business. I started designing flowers at 8 years old, selling them. And so I got trained at a very young age. So in business, in design and art, it's a very, and as you said, the flower business, we're dealing with a lot of the wedding, the funerals, uh, you know, especially the wedding, the funerals were good. You had to give compassion. They're grieving. It's new. The weddings are just stressful. Sometimes, you get the mother and the bride. You've heard of bridezillas. You've heard of mothers of the brides, and yeah, you learn clarity, and you learn to not take things personally. I think that's the biggest thing. I was listening to a podcast. How do you not take things personally? But so
Uh-huh.
it's a separation of what you do versus who you are. And so they can, I don't take anything personally. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the questions, and I'm looking forward to sharing any bits of information you can draw out of me. Thank you.
Amazing. I still want to continue with the floral business
Mhm.
topic because I think there's really interesting connection to customer service.
Yeah.
As you said, flowers are part of some of the happiest moments in people's life, and also uh, apologies, funerals, grief, and loss. So you were often dealing with customers who were already experiencing these strong emotions. What did all of these years in the floral business teach you about people and customer service in its all?
It's about people are very, for the most part, we hear about the 1 or 2%. That's what we talk about. Oh my, but a lot of people can't let it go. So hopefully, I'll before we get the episode over, I'll give them some tools how to do it in the moment, so they go into the next phone call and they don't carry that on to the
Uh-huh.
next phone call. So yeah, you learn that you just do the best you can, and people would call up, my roses died. We'll replace them. So there is no argument, but they died. I said, they might have we're in Maine. It's cold. They can freeze. So they've died. I said, I know. We're going to replace them. Really? Yeah. So I used to just cut them off before cut it off. That's all we can do. So I think part of the game I've created this process called the game of 10. One of the phrases, I'm doing the best I can with the awareness I have. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that's part of you doing your best. So I like to preempt the discussion. If they want to continue after, I'll give you your money back. I'll replace them. What are you going to, they still want to argue? Okay. you Let them. And I love Mel Robbins' new book, Let Them. All right. So you let them vent. I mean, I'll be happy to stay on the phone while you vent. I'm here. So you got me on the phone. So I think having a great sense of humor
Hmm.
when things are tough without being disrespectful is a gift. And it's a fine line sometimes. So you have to acknowledge their disappointment. So you acknowledge it. Say, that must be very disappointing. I understand. Can I replace them for you? Is your mother going to be home this afternoon? I'll take them myself, and I'll apologize to her myself.
Exactly. So basically giving them some options.
Giving them some options is great. People love options. They don't like to be trapped and paying a lot of money for something that was a bit
Mhm.
disappointing. Yeah.
Exactly. And that actually brings us to the game of 10.
Hmm.
So we've mentioned it already, but I didn't explain it that much in the beginning because I'd rather much hear it from you as well. So for someone who will be discovering the game of 10 for the first time, what exactly is it about?
The game of 10 is the game of life and how we show up. And we're going to show up versus there's two games until we don't need the second game. The first game that you want to stay in is the game of 10. The alternative game that most people live in is called the game often played. Based on fear 1 through 9, self doubt 1 through 9, guilt 1 through 9, and shame 1 through 9. Guilt is I did something bad, they did something bad. Shame is I am bad, they are bad. Okay, so the higher you get in that game, the less you have, the more awareness you have. So it's an awareness scale, and in that game, the 1 through 9 comes with 4 elements is 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 is 6,561 options. Okay. So, but it's still going to get you a little bit off. Okay. If you're at 9, you'll just go off into the ditch a lot long. It'll take you a lot longer to go into the ditch, but you will eventually. So the key is to get into alignment. Have all your 4 elements like 4 wheels when they're aligned, you
Exactly.
stay in a straight line, hands off the wheel, and they're aligned. So you go straight. And it's all about alignment, awareness, the key, and operating from awareness versus lack of awareness. So I created 6 phrases that quiet the mind instantaneously in 20 seconds. So this would be good for people. I actually did customer service. I started a phone bank in the flower shop, so we did that. And then about 10 years ago, I was in between marriages and raising my 13-year-old son with mother. I have 1 week on, 1 week off, so I took a customer service job at two very each place I worked with. They were over $1 billion companies, so I was on the front line customer service. So yeah, I get it. Anyone up there who thinks I haven't, I know what it's like. And it is, they used to call us the redheaded stepchildren of the company. Nobody wants you around, but you have to show up and really be good for everybody and don't screw up. All right. So yeah, so I do. I love customer service. I love people. So want to play the game of 10 with me? 6 phrases.
Sure.
All right. It's a game that it's addicting.
No, good.
All
Let's
right.
go.
If you want to be addicted to really good things, okay?
Yeah,
Healthy food. It's a
absolutely.
healthy addiction. So when you declare yourself 10, you're saying, I'm the highest level of awareness that
Uh-huh.
I am. You're the I am. All right. So an aspect of the I am. So first phrase is I am 10.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm 10.
You're saying you're the highest level of awareness. So let's do it with some enthusiasm.
Okay, I'm 10.
Yes, you are. And I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I
All
have.
right. I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I do enough.
I'm doing it.
I do enough.
I do enough. Sorry.
It's okay. It's first time. It takes practice. I have enough.
I have enough.
It answers every question that our ego, identity, mind-made self is always chattering in our head, replaying the stories from the last phone call. I had the most horrific customer. You can still hear her in your voice railing on you, saying that this, that, blaming you, shaming you, doubting self-doubt, giving you self-doubt. It shuts it off. Boop. Hello, spick and span. How can I help you? You want to get to that place of reset. So it resets your mindset. And yeah, next. You
That's
took care.
amazing. I'll
Thank you.
try for the team as well, by the way.
I will
Be a nice exercise
I
for
will
sure.
send you those phrases.
Mhm.
Listen to the tape again. I will send you the phrases. Like if I had, I'll send it in Podmat. Anyway, yeah. So that's that. But what those phrases also do is open up your consciousness and your subconscious. So some of the thoughts of being less than 10 come up too.
Mhm.
So I've been trained how to let them go. So in order to keep your mind clear of all past disappointments, because in the game of 10, we're appointed 10, and through life, we have little disappointments that will make us down to 9, bigger one, 8, bigger one, 7, traumas, abuse, all the abuses that there are, and consistently, a lot of people get stuck there, down to 1, 2, and 3, and they living out of these patterns of fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame. I let it happen. It was my fault. It was I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. I don't do enough. I don't have enough. I'm not right. My mind's not right because of what happened to me. I'm not doing my best because I can't. I was traumatized. I was abused as a child. I'm not 10. Nobody, I'm not worthy of anybody. Okay. These are people who have these thoughts in their head.
Yeah, they do.
And they do. And and the only way we let them go is to people don't know how to forgive, and why they don't, because they're traumatized or disappointed, and they think they have to forgive the person who did it, the place that it happened, and the situation that it was. We have to forgive the thought about that. The thoughts turn into they have an emotional attachment, not fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame. And any of those that come up, I was trained by Marianne Williamson during COVID. I took a course with her, and she was one of my writing coaches when I wrote the book. And she gave us an exercise. It's brilliant. So I'm keeping it for the game of 10. I don't have it. I got the game of 10 registered, but I'm sharing that. She gave it to me. I want to give credit wherever it's due. I'm sure she didn't make it up either, but it's a great one. So in our mind, in our mind, we have above our ears, we have 2 temples, right? So create it, she says we're an idea in the mind of God. God's an idea in the mind of us. We're all God, special, not special. Okay. An aspect of God, special. Everyone is, say, we all have a divine spark in us. That's what it is. Okay. So you want to grow that spark into so that's awareness. The spark is the awareness, and we want to grow that spark into a full blown light. Okay. So in our minds, everyone, audience, and Anne, create the most beautiful temple. You have a goddess temple, God's temple in your mind. It's your own personal place that you can go. And in that temple, create an altar. And that's the place where when something comes up, you get triggered by something. And those triggers are triggering something, a past disappointment or hurt. And they will keep happening until we let them go. They come back in different places, different faces doing it, different situations doing it, but the concepts and the narrative have the same theme to it. Okay. Not being treated with respect because you're not feel you're not good enough. Being treated
Exactly.
a certain way that just why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep getting the worst customers and no one else does?
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, you gotta let it go. So all the thoughts about that horrible customer who just didn't want to hear you any apology, didn't want to, they wanted to attack your person, they wanted to attack your skill, they wanted to attack you. Okay. So all the thoughts about that person on the altar. So you're letting go of the thoughts. And let's, because Einstein says you can't solve a problem at the level it was created. You can't forgive that irate customer while you're still feeling the humiliation, the just the abuse. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I get it. Nobody did it to me. I'm telling you. As soon as they start going, excuse me. Yeah. So this is all part of building up your self love, self esteem, so that no, excuse me, they will back off. People who are abusive, who are narcissists, they will back off if challenged and do it in a way that is very respectful. Excuse me. I didn't hear what you said. Do you want to repeat what you just said? I'm fine. Okay. Because they're in their hurt, something they're disappointed and they are in emotional pain and they want to lash out. And so you have to understand we have to understand that. And we have to also nip it as soon as it comes in a respectful boundary way. This is the tone, what you said is a strong no. If you continue this, I will hang up. I'll have my supervisor call you. Okay. Because nobody's paid enough to take abuse from somebody, especially customer service people. Okay.
Exactly.
Exact.
It's
So
already
it's,
difficult enough job to handle everything, and yeah, it's all at once. So yeah,
yeah,
sometimes it's not that easy for sure.
we're problem solvers. The people in customer service are problem solvers, and you got to be quick. And the problem is hardly ever the same. Sometimes you have the usual ones; those are easy. But then you get the difficult ones, and then you get off a difficult phone call. It's like if you haven't let that stuff go from the previous phone call, you're going to carry it over to this one. And I used to see so many people crying. Yeah, they would get
Mm,
off the phone from that difficult and just cry, and other people be hugging them. You know, I- they just need the tools to let it go. And next, thank you for calling Spick and Span. Thank you for calling Steve Barton coaching. It's just like
yeah,
that is the professional and the responsible thing to really maintain those boundaries with yourself. And that is self-respect boundaries, not walls, but boundaries of yes, no, stay, go. Okay.
exactly.
And say it in a respectful way from yourself and to the other. Yeah.
Exactly. And Steve, I wanted to ask one thing since we are
Mhm.
already speaking about this topic. So I actually have an example and would love to hear your what would be the approach or what actually happened. So let's say a customer is super angry, has a big complaint about something they did not do
Mhm.
well. And actually we start feeling like the customer is blaming us.
Mhm.
What's happening inside of us in that moment, and why is our natural reaction normally to become defensive?
Well, oftentimes people that have that feeling were punished for making a mistake. So we tend, as we get adults and we were conditioned to punish ourselves for thinking the wrong thing. Why do you think, and think, what were you thinking? And
Right.
traumatized by people who love us. So we get traumatized and conditioned to think. And the game of 10 is all about not thinking. It's coming from awareness, which is no thought. Zero. You download intentions and you download ideas and you download intuition. Thoughts are tools. All right. And if we operate from thoughts that we were punished by, so you get punished, you get the punisher on the phone, right? The villain, the superhero villain. And And then it reminds us of, oh my God, I remember being yelled at by a teacher in front of the whole class. I was so embarrassed. I was filled with so much guilt and so much shame. I was just like, I wanted to die. Okay. So we go back into that young child that hadn't been healed and hadn't let go from a teacher who had so much lack of awareness that she had no idea that she was traumatizing us. And we take on that punishing role ourselves because our teacher's not there to do it anymore. Isn't that
Exactly.
crazy?
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I think that we have to recognize it. So, and thank that person who did it. Oh, I didn't realize that little girl was still hurt. I'm going to take those thoughts about the little girl that was punished, and I'm going to take all the thoughts. I'm going to take her with me up to the altar. I'm going to put all the thoughts about being humiliated in front of my peers and all the thoughts about that time. I'm going to put it on the altar and walk away. So we have to give it to our highest self so it can do the processing for us. And one of the things you can say when you go to the altar is just say, I'm willing to see things differently because we're willing to see it as I'm bad. I did something bad. I'm not doing my best. I can do better. So I'm not enough. I don't do enough. I'm not 10. And people get traumatized by it. So we have to let go of the thoughts about what happened. And the good news is we have that. It works. It worked.
Exactly. And still inside this topic. So, as you said earlier, usually in customer support, sometimes we don't have those 10 minutes to prepare ourselves before replying to a customer.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's very difficult to come up with something to say, or even using the right words to calm down the customer. What can I actually do? Or any customer support agent, what can actually be done in those few seconds to stop ourselves from reacting emotionally? And can this actually be and become automatic with practice?
Yeah, I mean, you can basically they've got a problem that they feel the company or you, the representative, caused. So you have empathy. I don't ever say I'm sorry. I will say I apologize. I apologize, as a representative of the company. This is very upsetting. And acknowledge where they're at. Okay. They're at three. They're at 1, 2, and 3 right now in this moment. And they are, when you're mad, you are insane. Okay. So that's what mad is. Okay. If they're mad, they are temporarily insane. So you have to understand that you got to stay in your level 10, but communicate to them that you're there to be the solution.
Uh-huh.
And that solution may take, you be the judge. You've done this enough that let me get back to you. Here's my name. I'm going to talk to my supervisors and the owners and to get this situation resolved. And I I will call you back in an hour and I'll let you know either way if it's resolved or they just want to know someone is being their advocate. They came to you because they trusted you. Okay. So they feel you have violated their trust. Okay. They've been telling all their friends how wonderful you are and blah, blah, and then you violated. Oh my God. So then the sign of a great company, how do they handle these complaints? Okay. And turn them into a loyal customer. Someone who goes, they made a mistake, but you know what? They handled it beautifully. That's what you want to hear. That builds trust. They will, mistakes are great to learn from. They're going to know that you set up systems because of you. We've changed our policy. We've changed our systems. We've done this. And I just want to thank you. And I want to also give you a credit towards your next purchase from. Give them something. Thank them. You know, it's the way they delivered it might not have been the best, but the way you're going to respond will be above and beyond what they ever expected. Because most people will hang up on them.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Click. Yep.
Yeah, and actually, Steve, since we are already speaking about this trust and opportunities,
Mhm.
so usually there is a phrase that we can see all the time, which is a complaint is an opportunity. So
Mhm.
sometimes, at least in my opinion, I think it sounds more like a slogan than something that actually means something to the customer.
Yep.
So every conversation, I understand it is a opportunity to build trust, but can a customer actually trust a company more when after something has gone wrong? And what has happened to what happened to make that possible? Because I can even give an experience that I had very recently.
Mhm.
So I purchased this dress. I was not happy with it because the color was completely different from what I saw online. And yeah, the customer support agent was just apologizing. I understand. I know that you have a wedding this weekend, and now there's nothing that we can really do for today, of course. And I know about this. I'm also a customer
Mhm.
support agent. I understand how it works. But still, I wasn't really provided with an option until I gave some ideas of what I was expecting. So yeah, I know that this happens. It happened to me as well, especially in the beginning. It was very difficult. But yes, can a customer actually trust a company more after something goes wrong?
If they follow through with their promise of what they're going to do, you have the opportunity to build the trust back and give them a little bit more than they expected. That builds trust. If nothing, if you were promising, then that's just chatter. Get them off the phone. You might as well have hung up on them. They're going to feel just as badly after you didn't do what you did. So you got to follow through with it. And that builds trust. Not following through, you lost them. Typically, you've just lost them. And they will badmouth you to everyone they know.
Hmm. And how do we acknowledge somebody's feeling without agreeing with everything they're saying?
I
For
hear
me,
what you,
the
yeah,
different things.
yeah, you can say something like, I hear what you're saying. I get it. I hear what you're saying. You may not understand it, and they might be out totally off the wall. Okay. I understand you feel this way, and we're going to do our very best to, you'll just acknowledge their feelings. Okay. What if you said, you shouldn't feel that way? Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you just added kerosene to the fire. So you just acknowledge their feelings. They're always right with the awareness they haven't. Okay. They're doing the best they can with the awareness they're having.
Mhm.
And
Like,
they've had enough of you and the company. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of
Um,
it's kind of common sense. That's not very common.
sure.
And until you've had enough of having these customers, then you gain the awareness of listening to a podcast like this, something that gives you some tools to do, something that works. Okay. People who are listening for the first time, they might think that sounds crazy. Try it. All I say, yes, it sounds crazy. My clients say, I thought you were by the third month, they have a trust, second month, even the end of the first month. I thought you were crazy when you're telling me this stuff. And now I know you're not. So it works. I think you have to experience this game of 10 and those phrases and the process of letting go. It's just
Mhm.
a way to do it. If you have another way, you have to give it to your highest self. That is because you can't do it. You can't solve a problem at that level of insanity. Can't do it. Okay. You want to get back to sanity, which is 10, and let it do it for you and align with that. That is a space of awareness, and grow that awareness, learn from the mistakes, or so you don't repeat them again.
Exactly. And also, I wanted to speak about something that really interested me on this part of your work, which is intuition.
Mhm.
So, you describe intuition as a leadership advantage, and customer service professionals are consistently making small decisions. And sometimes, as you said, I apologize, I try to explain, should I listen longer? Do I escalate this? So do customers need a solution, or do they first need an assurance? And can intuition also be an advantage in these cases?
Yeah, it's they first need to acknowledge the situation. That's what they want to be heard first. So it's a process of first acknowledging, then listening. And while you're listening, you probably already have some guidelines of what you can offer. Okay. And if you don't, it's okay. I don't know what I'm going to do right now, but I promise you, give them your number, give them your direct line, give them some assurance that you're going to take care of it, and get and and say, yeah, as I said before, give them a time frame that to get back to them. And if I don't get back to you in that time frame, we're really out straight here. This situation is very important, but I just want to let you know we are shorthanded. It's not an excuse; it's just a situation. So know that you are on my list of things to take care of as soon as I possibly able, and just do it. The thing is, just follow through. These are priorities. Something something happened that's going to affect the company reputation. It takes a lot of money to get a client. And when you lose one, they will tell. They used to say they'll tell 20 people. Okay, that doesn't. So it's really behooves us to make those things really um, bad situations into or difficult situations into great opportunities for customer service, customer loyalty. Hopefully, I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, you did. Thank you so much. And Steve, before we get to our quick fire round, I wanted to leave our listeners with something practical. So let's imagine someone listening right now that
Hmm.
knows that we'll have later today a difficult conversation with a
Hmm.
customer, the team lead, anyone. What's one simple technique from the game of 10 that they can use before or even during that conversation to become calmer, more aware, and hopefully everything goes well?
Great question. And those phrases go before you have no. So intuition says, I'm going into a difficult conversation with my boss. I know that that customer called up and told the manager. So do those phrases before you go in. Be open, being said, never defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, listen and be calm because those, once you say those phrases, your mind is empty of thought. That's where you're going to be intuitive into just saying, I, I that I got to be calm. Don't defend. Don't explain. Okay, unless asked, and say, say, do you want to hear a different version of what ask? If the boss says no, okay, okay, and then if they do, then say, here's my side. There's always two sides to every story. The truth is someplace else. Okay, so So it's really about opening communication from a
Mm-hmm.
place of calm, a place of respect, a place of acceptance. It happened. I made a mistake. I reacted. I called her a name. Okay. I made a mistake. I have learned from it. I Yeah, I deserve. Thank you. I was wrong. Okay, admitting it and say I'm learned from it. I've got some techniques now that I'm working on that I can do. I can do a better job. Okay, who we are and what we do are not the same things. Okay, we have thoughts, we have feelings, we have emotion, we have a mind, we have a body, we have an identity. It's not who we are. These are the tools that we can grow and develop. Okay, the who we are is that spark of divinity that expands our awareness and come from that place of awareness as the silent observer of these tools and develop the tools. That awareness is perfectly developed. It's waiting for your skills, your thoughts, your feelings to align with it. They match, they blend, okay? And they work in harmony. And then if for some reason you don't get those customers anymore. And if you do, you you have the awareness to just like they can't even go there. You know, you just preempted them so quickly. You disarmed them of their attack. You become a ninja. You become a customer service ninja, disarming them with their daggers and their swords and their thing that they're coming to attack you. Nope, gone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something good. And I think we should all work to be better and better. And I really think that these tips that you have just provided would very much help. To be honest, really, it was amazing to hear so much about this. Of course, we always try to improve and we always try to be calm and everything, but I don't think that we actually try that hard.
I think you're right. And it's something you have to practice.
Exactly.
And it's a lifelong practice of keeping yourself in a place of awareness. And that is no thought because Eckhart Tolle said, I love what he said, the biggest addiction we have is thoughts. We're addicted to thinking because we've been traumatized. I said that, and I've, just berated for thinking.
Yep.
And that's trauma. And typically we were traumatized as young children. What were you thinking? Then spanked or yelled at or put in timed out, you know? And so, oh, I can think better. I'll think better. I'll think, I'll think through this problem. Well, no, you won't. You do it from a place of awareness. The problem happened, let it go. The thoughts about what happened, put it on the altar. Come from that place of perfection, of awareness, of 10. You can't become perfect. You already are. Okay? So you are the prize. Everyone out there, guess what? You are the shiny object, you are the prize, and you are the carrot. So stop chasing approval.
Exactly. Good affirmations for
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
And Steve, so it's time for our quick fire round.
I
Okay.
love it. I'm on the edge of my seat, holding on to my arms on my chair.
Amazing. So I'll just ask a few questions and please just answer whatever comes up to your mind first. Okay.
Uh-oh,
That's
that could be dangerous. Good.
good. Perfect. Okay. So fear or self doubt, which holds people back more?
Both.
Okay. Listening or problem solving, which comes first?
Listening.
Can you be successful and still be operating from fear?
No.
What's harder, managing an angry customer or managing your own reaction to them?
Both. Equally,
One,
equally, equally. One you got to hold back. What?
if you would like, you can explain. I think it would be good.
Well, if you have that energy of being afraid to be confronted with the intuition, all minds are joined. That person will attack you. If you have low self-esteem, they will attack and they'll be vicious. Okay? So that's where intuition comes in. And that's where you have to get yourself to that high level of confidence with faith in yourself. Okay. And in others. So you want to get to that level. There's no room. You'll have a psychic shield that they will not do it. They will feel your energy. They'll feel your confidence. They ain't gonna mess with you. So it's up to our job to build that confidence with trust, with accountability, with responsibility, the ability to respond, not the ability to react. That is for unprofessional people. The ability to react, that's for people who haven't done the work. The ability to respond in a way that is like, wow. I'm good. What's your name? I'm gonna put a 5-star after the survey. Can I do a survey? That's what is the goal, to get that place where people just love. I'm so happy this mistake happened. I get to meet you. That's what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taking the good out of the bad.
100%.
Perfect. And finally, the game of 10 in just 3 words.
We are perfect.
Welcome. Amazing. I think that is an amazing sentence for sure. And I'll start to use it more after today for sure. Perfect. Okay, so Steve, I think that's the perfect place to finish. But just before we go, it would be great if you could let us know where people can find more information and learn more about you and also the game of 10, which I will also be looking into. Yeah, so you can go ahead and share everything for our.
Here it comes. Go to my website, www.steve, Barton, coaching.com. Download, go to scroll to my website, uh, put in your name and email address, and download the game, Father, the Son, the Aha Moment. I wrote it with my 18-year-old son during COVID and had Marianne Williamson as one of my coaches, which was 13 times author, 7 times New York Times bestseller, amazing woman, one of my mentors in life, and download that book, and also go to LinkedIn and see Steve Barton High Performance Coaching. I do amazing posts every week that I'm really happy about, and it's basically all about the game of 10. It's really, I love this phrase. Our sixth sense, intuition, is our common, the sense we all have in common.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you
Really,
so much.
thank you so much. Amazing tips. And I was really hoping for this call after several reschedulings. And yeah, I couldn't wait any longer. It was amazing having you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. And yes, for everyone listening, please do check everything about Steve. And yeah, I think you will find amazing information. And yes, I'm looking forward to read the Game of 10.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, the book is a parenting book. So if you don't have any children, read it to your inner child, okay? Give yourself a bedtime story. And it's about healing your inner child. When you heal your inner child, you're going to have such an amazing life because you've let go of the trauma and the hurt that we don't even know is there. So it's just self-discovery, self-awareness and self-discovery. I think that's a LinkedIn post.
And it's actually something that everyone should do, to be honest. We always say we don't have time to do this or that, and we should really invest in working in ourselves for sure.
Thank you so much, Anne, for having me on. Great podcast, great interviews, great questions. Love it all. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I wish you a lovely day. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. A huge thank you to Steve for joining me on such a open and valuable conversation about how we handle pressure, especially in customer service, where we will always have difficult customers, complaints, and stressful conversations, which are part of the job. And especially explaining how managing ourselves in those moments can completely change the way that we communicate with the customer and also the outcome. I also wanted to thank Steve for the little exercise that we did earlier today and for allowing us to learn more about the game of 10 and Steve's approach towards mindset, performance, and being more intentional about how we respond when things don't go according to plan, which is something that happens quite often in customer service. There will definitely be lessons from this conversation that I will take into account into my own work. And I hope that there was something today that you can also take away and put into practice. If you enjoyed today's conversation, you can find our podcast episodes at speakandspan.net/CSM. You can also subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, so you don't miss any of our future episodes. And if you have a moment, please do rate us. It's really helpful when trying to reach more listeners and also help grow the show, which has just started. And all the links, including where you can find and connect with Steve, are in the show notes right below. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.